Two strangers who meet 5 times. The destinies of two men keep connecting, leaving their future unpredictable. They first meet when they're still children on a beach, and the rest of their encounters have different stories to tell. The movie opens with a man walking down to a cash point. The man, Alistair, appears to be in a hurry, but he is forced to be patient when he meets another man, Samir Aziz, withdrawing from the cash point. To Alistair, Samir is taking all the time in the world, and this prompts him to be racist and make insulting remarks about Samir's culture. After Samir is done using the cash point, Alistair's remarks force Samir to stop, and he has no other choice than to confront Alistair. The two exchange words, with Alistair leaning more on the racist side. Samir thinks to himself that Alistair is not worth it, so he walks out on him. The movie records this as the second time the two meet. The third time the two meet, Alistair is being considered for an official position in a company that turns out to be owned by Samir. Alistair gets good remarks from his interviewers, which settles his mind that things will end on a positive note. That is, until he gets to meet the CEO of the company. Before Alistair becomes an official employee, one of the interviewers informs him that he has to meet the CEO, and he seems cool with that. Alistair waits for the CEO to arrive, and when he arrives, the two say their greetings. At first, things seemed to be going smoothly, but after a moment, Samir recognizes Alistair and asks him if they've met before. Although Alistair said that he has no recollection of their previous meeting, Samir is sure they've met before. It only takes Samir some seconds before he remembers that Alistair was the guy who talked him down at the cash point. Upon this realization, Samir's facial expression changes into anger. Alistair did not get the job. A few years have passed, and the two meet for the 4th time. Alistair is now homeless. Samir seems to have forgotten all about Alistair, but somehow Alistair recognizes Samir among the people who pass by. Samir reveals that he remembers nothing about Alistair, even as Alistair goes on to narrate how Samir didn't employ him in his company several years ago. Although he still struggles to remember, Samir tells Alistair that he'll be back after using the cash point. After a few minutes, Samir returns with a bundle of money. Shocked that Samir stayed true to his word, Alistair is touched by the kind act. He accepts the money with gratitude and tears in his eyes. Samir wishes him well and walks away, and from here, the movie takes us to the first time the two meet. The two first met at a place that appeared to be a beach. They are both building a castle, and Samir, being the older one, is trying to teach Alistair that the sand should go into the bucket. However, they're soon snapped out of this reality after Alistair's mother comes and gets him so they can head home. Together, the mother and son leave, causing Samir to remain all by himself. They say their goodbyes, and that leads to the 5th time the two meet. This time, they have grown old, especially Samir. Samir, who has lost his ability to speak, is in a special home for old persons, and Alistair is a volunteer there. Accompanied by a staff at the home, Alistair walks into Samir's room, unknowingly, and after the two are introduced, Alistair tells Samir that he's going to take good care of him. Samir is pleased about this. As the two continue to smile at each other, Alistair begins to stare keenly at Samir. He asks Samir if they have met before, and although Samir doesn't answer immediately, he smiles back as if to say that they have.